Okay guys, so this is Wednesday 29th. We're going to start with a one-arm overhead squat. On the one-arm overhead, goal is to have the bell at the crown of the head or slightly behind. Just remember, as you squat, your upper body is going to be leaning forward, so therefore the dumbbell needs to slightly go back behind you. I've got tight shoulders, so as I drop into my squat, I'm going to be actually rotating quite a bit to be able to ensure that my sagittal plane and my frontal plane are, and my arm, in reference to my arm, is close to perpendicular. So I extend out as I drop. Okay, so that's my goal. Now, I may even want to slightly look up. We're using light weight, so anybody saying, oh, you know, might get a neck impingement. Yeah, might get a neck impingement, but you know, you're using pretty light weight with this stuff. So, so you might want to gauge periodically or have a mirror available to be able to make sure that you're close to perpendicular on your sagittal plane and your frontal plane. Okay, so next one's going to be bent over high row in a neutral position. So that means I'm folded over and I'm rowing to where my arms are in a neutral position, so palms facing each other. But if you were looking from the floor up, my arms are perpendicular from my midline. So 90 degrees from my center. And that's going to affect more posterior delt and a little bit more rhomboid versus having them drop down here, and that's going to affect a little bit more lats. Okay, so that's the primary difference between a high row and your typical regular row. All right, so the next one's going to be a single chest press. Arm 45, slightly supinated, keeping in that supinated position, not pronating out, activate. And you don't have to believe me. All you got to do is just put your hand on your anterior delt and feel the contraction when you pronate versus just, you can feel the change. Okay? So by keeping it at about 45, you're actually activating more chest. And you can also do it by taking your hand, putting it on your chest, and pronating. And anytime you pronate, you'll feel the lengthening of the chest. Well, what's your goal for a chest press? Your goal is to have the shortest contraction in a muscle as possible. And that means the chest for chest press, right? So if you constantly do a pronated position, which I still see all the time online, you are working a lot more shoulder. Yes, you're going to get the benefit. It's just going to take you a whole heck of a lot longer. And not to mention, if you can constantly keep training yourself to contract the muscles on your own and not just let the movement do it for you and the weight do it for you, you know, this is a long-term deal, right? This is a lifetime, you know, work here. This isn't just a temporary, oh, I'm going to lose this weight and then I'm going to go to Miami, get wasted, and then, you know, come back and just sit on the couch and eat bonbons all day. So, bonbons, okay. So that showed my age. But anyway, the point is that you should still, when you come into the gym, not go zombie and just go through the list. You should be thinking about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and what your angles are, and what basically the mechanics is of everything, right? So next exercise is going to be the plank. All right, so the plank is, of course, straight body line from my shoulder all the way to my heels. And I'm hanging out in this position. I'm trying not to curve too much, okay? Now, as what's, and I love the term engage, right? So what's engaging? What am I engaging? Okay, well, so you have a thing called your full pillar core, all right? And that's not just rectus abdominis. It's not just lower back. It's everything all the way around. And that's basically what your body is having to contract to be able to keep you up, right? Now, granted, you know, the 9.14 gravity is pressing down perpendicular with the ground, so you do have more of an effect on your lower back and your core. But plank is not specifically just for core when it comes to people thinking rectus abdominis. So keep that in mind. Your back is having to contract quite a bit just to keep it in that same position. So keep that in mind too. So it is a pillar core movement. Now, going to be a side crunch reach. So I bring my heels fairly close to my hips. My goal is my right, my dominant, and my non-dominant. I want as much distance on one as the other. You'll find that your dominant side tends to be able to, for most people, have a little bit more range than your opposing side. I'm rolled. My shoulder blades are somewhat off the ground. My head is up, and I'm trying to contract on my own, right? So Metcon is going to be long run, or it will be high jumps. Now on the high jumps, this is not a knee high jump. This is just a high jump. So from here, you can use those arms as momentum, but just make sure that when you land, it's not a jarring joint display of, of the joints completely underneath each other, and then all that weight coming down and that gravity assist, and now you've got major jarring of the joints. So make sure that you're dropping slow and preferably quiet. The more you land quietly, the more your body is having to actually contract more muscles to make that happen. So anyway, thanks for watching.